Here are the top 5 reasons why you should consider majoring in business. Number 1, money. The closer you are to the money, the more money you can make. And business is all about studying the movement of money, whether that's inside a company or inside economies or between different economies. And so what I've learned, at least in my time working in different companies from Google to even the stock market, is that the closer you are to the money, well, typically those people pay themselves more. And so another interesting thought about that is, like, a lot of people say, well, Dan, why shouldn't I just major in engineering first and then go in to get my MBA later? That's perfectly cool if you want to do that. But I will say, this is what I learned about engineers, that typically, even though their salary can start decently high, well, they get kind of capped at a certain point. And whereas I think business majors, since they command and control how the money is allocated in the first place, well, they don't really have any caps. Sky's the limit, and they can pay themselves however much they want. I have a good friend, by the way, in case you're curious. On a bad year, he makes about $400,000, and he's only 30 years old? Yeah, kind of crazy. Reason number 2, stability. While most people think of business as a soft study, it's actually a very mathematical one if you look at the technical parts of business. And a lot of people talk about STEM as, oh, you should get an undergrad major in, say, a STEM subject because that's solid, it's technical, it's something that will provide you a good foundation before you go into the business stuff. And that's predicated on, I think, the wrong assumption, in that it's like the thought of business is that, oh, it's only like soft skills, like a sleazy salesman at a car dealership. Doesn't really work that way, guys. Like, in business, there's finance, there's even marketing, there's, obviously accounting, a lot of things that are based on data science nowadays, right? And so those skills are actually very technical in and of themselves. And so depending on what you study within business, your skill set can be very, very foundationally technically sound as compared to, say, something mathematical like an actuary or an engineer, or even, say, I don't know, a biophysicist, right? So it's actually quite stable for this reason. And in fact, if you don't believe me, check out Indeed.com. Yeah, shout out to Indeed. Indeed.com has a ton of jobs you can just look up, and you can see what the starting salaries are. And I'm pretty sure they'll be decently impressive, especially if you graduate from college. Duh. Reason number 3, it's flexible. You can work in any kind of business once you learn how it works, right? Whether it's business operations, marketing, finance, accounting. Well, you can do that for, say, the travel industry like Airbnb, or you can do that for an Uber, you can do that for Google and Amazon. You can work for all kinds of different companies, and I think for that reason, it's entirely flexible as long as you have the skill set. In case you don't believe me, I have a good friend named Ben, and at first he started off his career at, say, I think it was PG&E. Oh, sorry, PG&E. Yeah. Well, he did do finance at PG&E before he then worked at Oracle, and then now he's at a startup in San Francisco that does, I think it's like really high-end retail. So he didn't choose the industry that he ended up working in, but just look at that. He was able to work for a non-governmental, kind of like a public agency, if you will, like in energy. And then he worked for a tech company, and then he worked for a startup in retail. I'm pretty sure he didn't know that would happen, but hey, that just shows you how flexible a major in business is. Number 4, you like it. Maybe you've tried business before in DECA or FBLA, or maybe you've taken some classes in marketing and finance and you just like it. Well, why wouldn't that be a good reason just to major in it then, right? And it's because I think it is unique. Business as a subject, although it might not be as concrete as, say, a biology or physics, it is a very unique discipline of coursework, right? That you can't really get, even if you're an econ major, for instance, you can't really get a lot of the business specific classes. And so if you know you like business, what have you got to lose? And lastly, I'd argue people. Business is all about working with people. It's about understanding people, and it's about realizing and creating opportunities that don't really currently exist, or that most other people haven't yet noticed. What makes an entrepreneur special is that they have a skill that most engineers, biologists, and other kinds of people in the world don't have. And that is actually to spot a market void, or see where there is opportunity where not enough people or no one is currently taken advantage of. So if you like to work with people, if that's really your thing and you're not decided on anything else, right, outside of you just like to work with people, business is a fantastic option that will help you just work with people, well, pretty much every day of your life. And so if you are like me and hate being boxed in and cannot imagine yourself living or working out of a cubicle, can't do it, well, business is probably the best major for you too. Anyway, guys, hope you liked the video. Hit the like button, subscribe, and comment if you have any thoughts on business below, and we'll catch you next time.